Good morning, good day, good evening. This is YieldMaxMindset bringing you my portfolio week 44 review from my Robinhood and Schwab account. Just want to take a moment out and just say, remember all those that are in Texas due to the flood. It was it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. Y'all keep them in your prayers. It was horrific. I mean, the videos I saw, that water was horrific, and all the youth that was at the camp, it's just horrific. But you all keep them in your prayers, and if we're able to help, let's try and donate funds or something. I don't know, but just keep them in your prayers. Um, I know it's a horrific scene, just horrific. All right, all right. So all right, so we've had some things happen. So let's review our Robinhood portfolio. Move this out of my way so I can see. All right, so right now our account is at 65,188. Live, we are up $160. For the day, we're up $340. All right, for the week, we're down 2251. For the month, let's do it again. I don't know if that's right or not. Let's see, refresh because something, there we go. All right, for the month, we're up $15,568. Let me go back and see if that other stuff is right. Yep, that's right. All right, for the 3 months, we're up $42,229. Year to date, we're up $13,758. For the past year, we're up $36,303. And all time, we're up $29,107. All right. Our buying power is at 17,563. Our buffer is at 92.36, 14.5%. I think that's all we need to see there. Yep, pretty much. All right. So our total margin is at 110,257. And our margin used stands right now at $92,694. Yes, that is the most that I've had on margin. So let's get to it. Our portfolio and see what we have here. Let's review our most recent dividend position. AIY was one of them. It's currently at 428. Our market value is at 55.64. Average cost is 11.68. 13 shares, and we're down $96. Our dividend pending. That's right. So we didn't get paid dividends on Friday due to the 4th of July. Excuse me. Due to the 4th of July. And so we'll be receiving, if you're in a Robinhood account, you'll be receiving these funds Monday evening, tomorrow, Monday evening. So as you can see, I have 13 shares, 16 cents. That would be $2.08. Next, we have SMCY, currently at 1982. Our market value is at 27.74. We're currently down $834. Our average cost is 25.78, and we have 140 shares. Maintenance ratio at 60%. That's why I haven't purchased any more of it. So I don't want to use 60% of my buying power to do that. All right, so we currently have 140 shares, 161 per share for 225.43. All right. Next up, we have OT. Currently is at 632. Market value is at 25.28. We're down over $1,100. Average cost is at 912 for 400 shares. Margin ratio is at 40%. It's better than 60%, but still don't want to quite do that just yet. All right, so we have 400 shares at 10 cents. That's $38.08. All right. Next, we got YieldMax. YieldMax is at $13.75. Our market value is at $6.87. We're down $91. Average cost is $15.59 for 50 shares. Now this, I don't know why I haven't got any more YieldMax just yet, because it's only 25%. And we need to bring that average cost down. All right. Here we go. All right, so we have 50 shares at $15.74, giving us $7.87. Next, we have Misty. Misty's at $20.89. Our market value is at $15,692. We're down over $4,600, and our average cost is at $27.12 for 751 shares. All right, so you can see here our maintenance ratio is at 70%. That is truly why I haven't purchased anymore, because my highs I got up to was 1,000 shares, and I got margin called, and it sold 200, and I sold another 49 or 50 shares myself. All right, so we have 751 shares in this account. We got $1.24 for $930.10 that will be paid out on tomorrow. All right, next we have Coney. We're just reviewing it. We didn't get paid dividends on Coney yet, since this is my biggest position. It stands now at $9.20. We have $92,000 as our market value, and we're down $21,908. Excuse me. I get on here, I start yawning. Wasn't yawning before. All right, so my average cost is $11.39 for 10,000 shares. Well, we'll just hit it. Show y'all last time we got paid, which was where? We bought 2,000 shares, dividends. This is not recent. This was June. This was June of 27. We had 8,000 shares. This is just for those maybe who's watching this video for the first time, right? Or watching my channel for the first time, right? All right, so it's 53, 54. So we got $4,283.20 in our Coney position. All right, next is Bitwise. It's a new position that we is checking out. We did buy one share, so right now it stands at $50.31. Market value is at $51.31. We're up $4.09, and our average cost is $46.22. And I think it paid a dividend out here recently. Yep. So one share, $1.89. Of course, that's $1.89, right? So this is Mara. This is Bitwise version of Mara. All right, Bitwise Coney. Excuse me, Cohen. It's their version of Pony. All right, so it's at 55.54. We're down $1.58. Average cost is $57.12, and it did pay out a dividend also. All right, so it was one share for $5.61, and that's what we got. All right, so Bitwise Mister, their version of Misty, I believe. This is I missed. See right there, I missed. All right, so it's at 51.79. Market value is at 51.79. We're up $1.58. Our average cost is at 50.23. And of course, in these positions, let me go back here. The margin maintenance, that one is 40%. This one is 45%. And this one is 60%. So it's not likely that in this account that I'm going to increase my position due to the maintenance ratio. All right. So if I do continue to add, it'll probably be in my Charles Swap account. So one share, or either I put these on drip, right? So one share, $1.87. That's what we got. All right. Now, this is Robinhood. Robinhood. All right. So in this account, we added, all right, so it stands at 94.12, right? And our market value is at 56.47. We're up $61.60. We have an average cost of 93.07. I believe we had previously about 11 shares or 10 shares, and we added and brought it up to 60 shares. So we bought 50 shares at $96.99. All right. So let's go look at this week. So you can see here that Robinhood, it says 99.97, but I believe it actually hit $100, right? Yep. See, it hit $188. And let's look at my purchases. All right, so we can see here on June the 12th, I bought 10 shares at 73.61, right? And then I bought 50 shares at 96.99. So that's over what, $23 increase, right? So Robinhood's got a lot of things that going on. This fall they're gonna do, I believe, Robinhood banking. Because now that you see this, I believe it says Robinhood Markets. And so a month ago, look, it was at $71, and now it's at 97. So why did I get it? Because they have a lot of catalysts, and they just have a lot of catalysts of things that are happening this fall coming with Robinhood, and they just did a video on something the other day with they're venturing into the European market. So they just launched there. So that's going to allow Robinhood to, I believe someone said Robinhood has like 23 million subscribers to their account. I'm sure that's going to continue to increase as they continue to improve it. I just think it has a lot of upside. Let's see here. If we go back a year, let's see where they were. So they was like a year, they was like $17, $22. So in a year's time, they're up that amount. So it's huge. But the reason why I knew this because I thought a coworker told me they had got some Robinhood, and I didn't at the time. I was going to keep it on my radar, but I really didn't. But one of the things that made me go ahead and get a position in Robinhood, one is the YieldMax version of Hui, their ETF, which is paying pretty good. But the implied volatility has to be a lot in order for the dividends to be a nice amount that's paid out. So Chris Sane is what got me in this video. Let's see if I don't know if I got his video. Yep. So let's listen to him, right? So let's check this out.
What else Coach got for you? Okay. Robinhood. Now this one's gonna be the next one. This is going to $100, but we got to get it down here. Look at this. It came to 69. Even if you got it down here today and then shot up to here, that's a phenomenal move. Okay, but I want you in it at the 70s or 60 level. because we're going to 100, but you need to make sure you're in position, okay? So already, again, going storm back, I want you to give it at least 2 months. You can give yourself more time than that, but I need at least 2 months, 3 months at the most for this to get going and moving towards our target around here. Remember, Coach told you first that these were going to these levels, but we get it low. That's how we make the money, guys. We buy low, okay? Then I got RGTI.
All right. So this is Chris saying little information about him. A coworker, I think it was about 2020 or 21. I was talking to a coworker about investing, and I was picking his brain and just discussion to see if he was someone who was buying, and he was. I think he might have been looking. I can't remember, but then a little time later, he asked me, did I know about Chris Sane? He said, a guy's on. So I checked out Chris Sane video at that time. I think it was 20 or 21, right? And so what I did is I watched his recent video at that time. And I said, man, this is a breath of fresh air hearing someone break it down like this. And then I went back maybe like 6 months and look at some of his older videos and then looking at his price targets and then saw where he said they was going, and then I went and checked and saw where they actually went, and I was sold. But one of the biggest thing that Chris did for me as someone who was feeling his way in the dark, trying to figure out some things about investing, but was just blind as a bat. uh, One of the biggest things I can say I pulled from Chris was about being an emotional investor, and that was, you see the market down, you go sell, and that's the old way of thinking. You don't sell. I mean, you don't take a loss unless you sell, right? So that was one of the big things he did for me was take the, put in check the emotional side when it comes to investing. And he gave some great stuff back then, but I was hard headed. Didn't sell like I should have when he said you would get in, would get out, set limit orders. I didn't do anything. I held on to those plays, and I paid for it. But that's my own fault. Some people like to mess up and then they go back and blame somebody else. But I didn't listen to completely what he said. But anyway, he had mentioned here that Robinhood was going to 100. I said I got to go in because I've been looking at it. Hadn't made a move. The YieldMax version was doing good, so boom, I got in it, and I only picked up what was that? I only picked up initially it was just 10 shares. I wasn't expecting it to run up as quickly as it did, but it did. It ran up pretty quick. So what was it? Was maybe here. What was it? Let's go back to this. So that doesn't have a date, but this video was dropped 3 weeks ago, right? Yeah. So based on the timestamp, he's got a lot of positive feedback. Just watch out for the bots that tries to say what's up, what's up, what's up app or something like that. That's not Chris saying. That is someone pretending to be him. So you have some people that are trying to mess you over. But anyway, yes, check him out. He's very good. All right, so where was I at? Robinhood. So yeah, I bought added 60 more shares. Um and with the momentum that Robinhood has right now, it may go up. So the wise thing would be for me, right? Since my average cost is at 93, which it was previously at about 72 or 75, right? If this goes to, this is one of the things Chris talks about. All right, is minimizing your loss. So the best thing would be to set a limit order right at what, $91 maybe. Take a small loss, but don't take a huge loss if this was to go down. Um, So definitely if it like say it went to $105, because this thing moves when it moves. So like Palantir, um, is if it goes to 105, set me a limit order at say 98 and put a position in to sell maybe half, so that if it pulls back a little bit, I can buy it at a lower price. As long as I'm selling um, it at a positive, then I won't create a wash sale by selling at a loss or anything. Because if you sell at a loss, technically you need to wait 30 to 31 days before you repurchase the commodity. But if not, that's for tax purposes, creating a wash sale. All right. So the next thing we got up was Hui. And we all know that this one has paid pretty decent dividends, right? I hope this thing is still recording and my voice not stop recorded. I remember that happened when I was playing somebody else's video. And I uploaded and didn't have no sound. All right, so the dividends here has only had two. First one was $3.30, and the last one was $6.50, and it has recovered each time that it has paid its dividends. So like Palantir, it has recovered each time that it's paid its dividends. So I'm gonna ride that wave. You see here it said it got up to 71 for its 52-week high. Inception was May the 7th, so it hasn't been out long. But when it paid out the $3, it recovered. It paid out the $6, and now it's recovered again, pretty much. So I'm gonna ride that wave if I can. So its maintenance is only 25 cents. So it's something I may consider. So the thing that I'm doing with Robinhood, it's a strategy. If you watch my short video on Friday that I dropped, or if you haven't, you can go back and watch it. So I'm up $61, right? So now I increase my position. So if this goes up to 105, right? So I'll have more positive profit, right? So so what I can do is to bring down my margin. I can sell the Robinhood completely, right? So we're looking at $5,600. That's $61 in profit, and the same thing with Palantir. So Palantir, I added 60 shares. So I had 60 shares initially, and I doubled that. So my average price, I believe, was around 115. So now it's at 125. You can see I'm at over $1,100 in profit. So Palantir did, I believe, got as high as 144, 145. That was on June the 26th. If it continues to move up in the market, this is going to be, so not only will I pay back the 16,000 that I borrowed, right? What it says the market value. So I actually borrowed like 15,000, right? So when I pay this back, not only will I pay back the 15 that I borrowed, but this right here, this 1,100, or who knows, it may go up to 2,000, maybe 3,000, right? In profit. I hope it so. That's the plan. Do some swing trading, right? So now, so this base, so if I sold this tomorrow, right now, right at $1,100 plus, right? So it would be, I will put the 15 back that I borrowed, right? And then the 1,100 would be as if I deposit $1,100 cashed into Robinhood. So that $1,100 would also go towards my margin balance, right? So I borrowed 15, made a $1,100 as profit. So I don't have to actually go out of my actual income and deposit money into Robinhood to help pay down the margin. If I'm able to swing trade and make profit off in Hood and Palantir, that's money that I'm using to pay down the margin. Even though I'm borrowing margin, it's going to help pay down the margin because I'm in profit. So that's the goal. That's the plan. I wanted to hold Palantir and Robinhood long term, but in the situation I am, it's best to just swing trade these and use that profit to help bring down the margin. All right. So when I do that, putting at 1100 is going to be like depositing 2200. So it doubles. That's more buying power to use again to do some more swing trade. All right. So the other position that I added to was Platy. Is at 63.75. Market value is at 14,662. We're down $566. I added, I believe I was at 215, so I added an additional 15 shares, right? So my average cost is at 62.21. See here, I added 15 shares at 61.38. All right. And Platy, let's look at what it has been paying out. PLTY. All right, so Platy, it hasn't paid under $2.20 since inception. It's actually gone up. Highs it paid was 704. So is that 68? I think that's where it sort of was the last time it paid this 320. So if it's still around that and implied volatility is still there, you're looking at maybe another $3, maybe. I don't know. This is just me guessing, people. All right. So that's the plan there. So let's look at our Charles Schwab. You can see I have 32 shares. So that gives me, on counting, that gives me 10,032 shares. So I may sell this 32 shares and put it in to another position just to have an even even 10,000, right? Don't have to, but it's just something I'm considering. All right, so you can see here, this account, I'm up $80. Um, we have some cash from my dividends sitting here at 1523. So we should receive some dividends tomorrow as well, and increase this and find one of these positions here to put that money back into. Mainly I would looking at which one's below its average cost. So instance, Misty is below 23.87. So I would probably put it in the Misty, right? Because it would help bring down my average cost. Palantir, Platy is right even. So I could do that as well. I don't think it's going to be enough to do that. So it will probably have to end up being OT or SMCY 20. I should get enough dividends that it'll be enough to maybe get a share or two, right? Just reinvesting it. Just building this as a cash position. No margin here, just strictly cash. All right. Still waiting on my federal and state. I hadn't got any of my money back. It's $2,600 I'm waiting on, people. Hadn't got it. Filed it at the deadline. Still ain't got my money. Why they holding my money? Anyway. All right. So next, let's see here. Oh, so let's see here. I think that's mostly it, other than we need to hit these. All right. So this is Divi Tracker showing my combined portfolio, right? So let's see here. All right. So this is what we're expecting to get tomorrow. All right. So it says dividend payouts for July the 7th. We're looking at $1,246, right? Misty, $947. SMCY, $249. OT, $39. YieldMax, 787. AIYY, 208, right? So if we look at this, it says recent dividend change. So Hui previously paid out 330, and the next dividend it paid out was 650, because we just saw that in the stock analysis chart. ICOI previously paid out 617 and paid 561 recently. I missed paid 701, paid a huge reduced amount to 187. Ulti 9 cents, paid 10 cents. Kavana 457, paid a reduced amount of 171. Yeeth 135 to 152. AIYY 32 cents to 16 cents. Platy 704 to 326, and the SMCY 157 to 161, and YieldMax 15 to 16, AMD 42 to 46, Coney 74 to 54, Morrow 197 to 121, and Misty 147 to 124. All right. So that was nice. So here it shows the day, what it ended on. What was it, Thursday? The market was open. And then here you can see the overall. Palantir was up $1,100, which you all saw in my Robinhood account. And I'm down in Coney. Of course, currently in Coney, it is actually down 21. So it has an update to show that price because the market hasn't opened, but you can see in the pre-market or the overnight market. All right, so that means that Coney is going up. All right, so if we split this down, all right, this is my Charles Schwab individual count. It's up 79 here, $15 in cash as we showed earlier. The individual dividends just from that account is 42.44. So that's going to add to the 15. So it'll be almost at 60 something dollars, right? All right. So we'll go back here to the Robinhood account. Robinhood account, I'm getting 1203 in dividend payout. All right, cool. All right, snowball analysis. All right, let's look here, see what we're looking at. All right, so it's showing here future payments. Paid 24, declared, estimated to be for July. I don't know if that's total estimated, but it's showing about 50, almost $5,900 estimated. And that's going to be based on the prior dividend because it doesn't know the future dividend. So it just, whatever the previous payout was, that's how it does this estimation. So Coney is showing that we received $46,613. Misty 18,553. So we take out 24. So this is what we're looking at so far for the year. 63, over 6,300 for January, 7,900 for February, March 5,400, April the lowest so far at 4,600, and May 14,000 is what we got paid. June so far, or it's estimating. No, it's July now. So June we got paid over 6,900 according to this, right? All right, so let's take a look at this briefly. Now, a lot of this hasn't changed from last week because we haven't gotten the dividends yet for this week because they're going to get paid this Monday instead of last Friday. So we'll just be brief on this. We won't stay long on this. All right, so dividends for Coney so far 46,613. Total profit is 26. So on that, you got 46,000 minus the 21 that we're down. And that gives us a total profit of 26,000 once you subtract the 21 from the 46 and add the realized profit. Misty, 18,553. I think that's right. I don't know if it's added. You know what? We forgot the Excel spreadsheet. That's what we forgot to do. But we got it ready, so we'll do it right after this. How about that? All right. All right. So dividends 18,555. Total profit 15,461. And so we're about to get house money on Misty. We got this payment that brings it within about $800. So we get next month's dividends. We should be in positive territory. And Misty, we will have gotten our total initial investment back. And Misty will be printing us house money. And it's less than 12 months, right? All right, so we got AMD. We still got to get that fixed. It isn't fixed. Tesla, $2,600. We're in profit $447. SMCY, we're in total profit $868. Palantir, $1,800 total profit. So our total dividends so far is $75,629. We're down, we're down what 21,000 in Coney, so that's most of that. But this is what we got: 75,629 minus the 30,000 that we down, and the realized profit gives us a total profit of $46,223. Now let's fix this Excel spreadsheet that I forgot to put in order of sequence. All right, so our active income, let's move this over. Our active income for July is at 1894.18. All right, and our passive income that we haven't got yet, based on my total, should be 1261 on tomorrow. Excuse me. All right, so our total active income is at excuse me. Our total active income stands at 28,073.57. Our passive income is at 45,844.72. So a combined income of 73,918. All right. So our active income is averaging about 4,000 a month, and our passive income is averaging about 6,500 a month right now. All right. So our prior margin balance at 50 was $58,095.07. Our current margin balance is at $92,694. All right, so we haven't got a dividend. So when we get that 1,200 tomorrow, it's going to reduce this this margin balance here, right? So our total debt looks at almost 300,000. But we got to do this, ladies and gentlemen. See this here? So we withdrew $6,000 from our Robinhood account and paid this off. So this balance now is gone. So that brings it from 299 to 293,807 as our new balance. But you can see when it was in there, it was almost 300,000. So that money withdrew from this Robinhood account, transferred over into this account, and paid it off. So let me show you that, because I posted that. Here it is. Check this out. So I posted this earlier tonight. And so I brought the whole 6,003 over here on that balance, and that gave me a credit of 57 cents left over. So it was due on the July 11th, so we went ahead and got that paid. Closing date is going to be the 14th, so that's going to update to my credit report, I believe, when they check them, Experian or Equifax or whatever it is. All right, so the credit limit on this account was at 6,000. You can see that's the APR that I have in my spreadsheet. All right, so it paid that off. Have 11 people to see this. Oh, okay. Right. So that is no longer having an interest rate at 19.24% on that outstanding balance of almost $6,000. That interest rate now has been reduced to our Robinhood the 5.55%. That is the new rate that's been charged at. Now the daily interest is at 12.16, but because that's a huge amount, 92,000, right? But it's at 5.55% versus 19.24, which was right there. And you can see year to date, we have been charged $567 in interest. So we save monthly payment of about $150, $160, I believe I was being charged. Interest was probably $80 to $90 a month. So that we can start using this at 150 towards one of these bills. All right. So our Robinhood goes at $30 right now. Our Robinhood interest on this margin that we've been borrowing since January the 1st now stands at 1603. Average 6 months interest is at 267. And like I said, the margin is at 92, 694. Let's see if that's still correct. All right. Where are we at? 92, 694, 26. Yep. All right. So our 401k has been reduced. Our 401k loan has been reduced to $22,977. And like I said, our now balance is at 293 of total debt. All right. So we can definitely reduce this, like I said, by selling Palantir, right? So we got Palantir. All right, so if we sold all that, let's add this up. How about that? All right, so that's 14,720, right? And if that's just selling, no, is that right? No, we want to sell Palantir, not maybe this Palantir. So let's do that over. I mean, we will sell it if push come to shove, right? But we want those dividends. So 16,159, 0.20 minus the profit. So that's, oops, I added a profit. It's supposed to be said minus the profit. All right, so that's $15,000. And if we did the same thing for Hood, sold a Hood, right? Make sure that's Hood, not Hui. Yep. All right, so we add that together. That's 5637, right? Minus the profit of 5114. I mean 40. So that's 20,000, almost 21,000 right there, right? So that 20 would go right here. If we were to sell it, the base of 20,000, we're bringing that down to 72,000, right? All right. So if we can get some profit off there by swing trading, that'll be great. Also, if push comes to shove, right, we will sell our Hui. Where's it at? Right here. Right. Yep. Oh, am I getting confused here? Here we go. All right. So it ain't much, right? Oops. What did I do? What did I do? So that was 2594.80. All right. So if we add the 59.52 minus the profit right now, because we just based, getting to the point to where we're going to sell what we got, and did the same thing with Plady. All right. All right. And adds 14,720, right? Um, and add the 5. So let's say we break even, put the 5 back in. So that's 36,000 off the 92, right? So 92 minus the 36 will put our margin balance at $56,000. So if push come to shove and we had to get our margin down, that's what we do. We would sell Hood, Palantir, and Plating to get it down to 56,000 if we needed to. I would first sell Palantir and Hood, and then sell the YieldMax version later on. But I would try to hold on to them to get the monthly dividends, right? All right. So next, let's do now. At this point, it's 45 minutes, and I was contemplating doing the Q&A separate in a separate video and releasing it Tuesday morning. But I think I'm just gonna go ahead and get it out of the way and do the whole Q&A in one video, right? So we're gonna go with it. We'll try not to make it long, right? I'll try not to talk as much. I think that's been our problem, is I'm talking too much. All right. So this is last week's portfolio review. JD Hernandez says, thanks for the Q&A and responding. I said, you're welcome. I tried to answer all questions, give my opinion, but not financial advice. I have a question, and this was concerning some things that have come up in the comments. I said, I have a question for you. With the video getting over an hour, what do you think about me putting the Q&A in a separate video and releasing it on Tuesday morning? What are your thoughts on that, or should I keep it all in one video? All right, so I haven't heard back from him. I did hear from this individual, Lee Me 2008, said, hi, I like your long reviews. I said, thank you very much. I have a quick question. I repeated pretty much the same thing. He said, for me, it's okay how it is. I said, thank you. I see you. I pointed at him. Got the mic there. Thank you for the feedback. Ice Cold 6009 said, enjoying the updates, brother. We're currently on the same journey. I just started in November, got myself in trouble with margin when the market dumped. Lost 15,000, selling at a loss, but I doubled down. I took a HELOC loan on the house, a loan from my job, and also using margin. I should have it all back by this time next year. Takes money to make money. Stay on the path. I've already made 96,000 from November to June. Crazy. Fortune favors the bold. All right. He says, and Hernandez said, you buying Coney too? He says, I have a small position, 1,100. I usually use half the money to reinvest and the other half to pay down my margin loan and etc. And I said, ice cold, man, our journeys are very, very similar. We both hit that bump. I think it was around April the 8th, somewhere there. Got margin call too. And I too use a HELOC and taking out loans. So I'm trying to dig myself out of this. I currently have around about 86,000 in dividends, according to according to snowball analysis. So far from September until now. So our paths are very, very similar. Stick with it. I should have said stick with it, brother. I don't know why I got stick with a brother. I'm proud of you for not just building out of the market. You see an opportunity and you made the corrective measures and will do better going forward. We're gonna milk this cow. I also said, man, you're in my head with the same thoughts over a period of time. I was going to split um, my payments into thirds, paying down the margin, reinvesting, and paying the debt outside of Robinhood. My other plan was to split it and pay it in half, paying down margin and paying down debt um, outside of Robinhood. I think you got my house bug. So he and I are very similar in how we're dealing with this. My good friend Alan, it says top commenter received one of the highest number of hearts from you. Publicly subscribed to you 7 months ago. So Alan has made quite a few comments on my videos commenting. So that's the reason why these badges are shown here. I said, thanks, man. He said, thanks, man. Been buying OT and YieldMax. Love the weekly payouts. Been a game changer for me. I said, thanks, Alan. Appreciate it, man. Keep the good word up. The rewards keep coming. Um, I can't pronounce this. Oliver. Anyway, she's been subscribed for a month too. She said, if you could cut the video short of around 15 to 20 minutes, maybe you're going to get more views. I like your video, but an hour and 45 minutes is just a lot to watch. School said agreed. I normally watch the first 15 minutes only. Justin said, this is a movie. Now, this one got me. I've heard all of them. I take it all in consideration. But when he said, this is a movie that went off, I'm like, oh my gosh, he's literally right. Some movies on average are what, 90 minutes or hour and a half or hour and 45 minutes. I'm like, oh my goodness. Hernandez says, I actually like it. I actually like it more, it being longer. Equals more information. Timestamps would be better than making it short, in my opinion. Attention span and recent issues. I said thank you for the feedback, ma'am. I lost track of the time when recording this one. I've just got to ask others a questions and maybe put it in the QA section in a separate video and release it on Tuesday morning. I also said sorry about that. Unfortunately, videos will probably be at least 30 to 50 minutes in length. I'm trying to consider and get feedback on maybe putting the Q&A in a separate video and releasing it at another time. Justin says, I won't lie. When I saw your comment, I was like, oh my God, I created a movie. This is me replying back to his comment. I was like, oh my God, I created a movie in the length of time that it takes to watch one video. I may try and put the Q&A in a separate video the next time, depending on the feedback. So y'all comment, if you all are watching now, comment in the video, trying to, maybe I should do a poll. Yeah, maybe I should do that and get some feedback. All right. Let me see here. All right. 2352 said, thank you. I said, you're welcome. Daryl said, can you please stop doing simple multiplication math? I would actually look at your videos if you did. It is too painful to hear you say, if you had 10 shares, if you had 100 shares, please stop. I said, thank you for the feedback, sir. The main purpose of the video is to announce the dividend distribution for the group with some extra details that user might find helpful. If over 50% of the users start to express your sentiments, then it's something I would seriously consider. Love Your Life said, I prefer him letting people know how many are required for a specific income amount. There are a few channels where people ask these questions. Just because you don't care, it does not mean it should change the format. You are welcome to go find a channel that does not do the math for viewers. It's all in clicking on different channels. Oh, that was 3 hours ago, so that's the reason why I didn't get to see that. Appreciate the love, man. It's here. Let's see here. Love your life. He says, Daryl James says, say grasshopper. All right. 243 says, YieldMax PPS. What is he trying to say? YieldMax price per share. Yeah. YieldMax price per share sinking as are the dividends. I used to own 3 of these and made some decent money on 2 out of the 3. I bailed out about 6 months ago and saw the writing on the wall. Sinking price per share does nobody any good. If the price per share recovers from the dividend payment, that's a very good thing. But the YieldMax ETFs are not recovering for the most part. I'll look elsewhere. And I replied, I do understand what you're saying, but I'm not in it. I'm not in it for it to keep the NAV. I'm here for the total return. So far, as for example, if I had 10,000 invested in the ETFs, just any one particular, and the value has dropped to 8,000, but over the course of 12 months, I've made 15,000 in dividends. That is, I'm not I'm not too really concerned about being down 2,000. And once I've made the 10,000 back on total returns, it continues going forward each month, printing me thousands of dollars. The NAV doesn't matter in that case. That is to me. These are monthly income driven ETF. These are truly not growth stocks, strictly for income. Eric said, your page is awesome. I said, thank you very much. I hope that people find it informative to see what the possibilities are. Eric also said, AIYY seems legit now. Going to have 200 shares of that by September. Laughing out loud, I said, AIYY is down 79% from its all time high. You are catching it near all-time lows. That is 427 is paying a decent dividend. If the price decides to recover and gets back up to $20, you definitely will be in some serious profit. It's averaging about 29 cents over the past 6 months. He said, to be fair and honest, I was thinking about it. Excuse me. I was thinking about it, but I seen you bought some. That's what made me jump. Little do you know, you influence people and yet help me far beyond your knowing. I think you live life. I think you live in life. You never know if we as people change people's lives for the good or not. I'm here to tell you, you change minds for the better. And I replied, so let me first give all praises and thanks to God, who is Jesus Christ, for the people that he put in my life that helped change my view about investing. And that person would be Chris Sain. Matter of fact, that's the video we saw earlier, right? Is that video? Yep, this individual right here, Chris Sain. Um, I was talking to a coworker about investing, seeing if he would bite. And then eventually, sometime later, he told me about Chris Sain. I watched this video and it changed my whole perspective, even though I was hard headed on some of the things that he said not to do. But I can be very appreciated for the change in perspective of investing that he gave me. And like you stated, he doesn't know me, but his influence has definitely changed my outlook on life when it comes to investing. So I thank God, I thank him, and I thank you for your honest words. Safety Realm says, brother, this is a game changer. I would love to speak with you. I have been investing for a while and need a better understanding. Let me know if you're available to talk. And I did say that I was busy, but he could reach me at my email. He said, will do, sir. Thank you for responding at YieldMaxMindset. All right. Kelly said, Misty and SMCY for the win. I said, if Misty maintains its ratio, if Misty maintenance ratio wasn't at 70%, I would definitely be loading the boat while it's in the $20 range. And the same with SMCY. I think that's got 6 days ago. All right, this individual said, wow, all this time, I've never, ever even heard of returns like this. I said, wow, yes, I found out about a couple years ago. And once I saw it, I knew what it was and I had to get in. It's the only way I'm going to be able to retire early and create generational wealth. Hernandez says, I'm new to dividends investing. Could you please explain your strategy and why you aren't? Okay, this was last week. I think I've already did this. Yeah, 7 days ago. I think, yeah. So I mentioned all that. And I said, yeah, I remember. I said, I'll let you all read that. All right. So, all right, cool. That's done. Let's get the shorts. All right, let's go back here to June. See, yep, 8 days ago. All right, so that's good. Let's go here. 2 days ago. So 123 said, dude, congrats. And he's congratulating me on getting 10,000 shares of Kona. I said, thank you. Stay tuned, sir. Dwayne said, let's go. Say it again for the people in the back. I got my ears open, got my headphones on. Jordan says, not, oh, this is old. It's over 9 days. But anyway, he replied not too long ago. Okay, so this was 9 days ago, but let's see here. All right, he says, not a good buy in my opinion. You just lost everything you made in dividends today. Might as well wait until the next week when it touches 150 and less. Coney is showing $8 floor and with a $10 ceiling for the next 3 months. I said, you can't let one day or 1 week or 1 month break you. It's about the journey, long-term play for me. With all the things happening to Coinbase and the underlying stock, Coney probably will have another $10 run up, in my opinion, not financial advice. And then Jay Robinson says, people can dollar cost average and average down if they believe in the fund. And I say, yes, that's pretty much what I'm doing. Dollar cost averaging. Wish I could have gotten it a big load when she dropped down to $6 range, but the timing wasn't right for me to get it then. Sure would have loved to have gotten the average cost down to $10 range before getting the 10,000 shares, but we good with the 11.39 price average. He said, Jay said, probably will go lower late third quarter and or within the fourth quarter. We shall see. I'm hoping, Jay, I would love for Coney to run up and hit $23. Before then, I would love for it to happen. And that way I can sell literally half of my Coney, right? And then, because I would sell off, I believe Robinhood is first in, first out. So the first positions that I bought in the $17 and $15 range, I would sell all those off if it went to $23, and that would lower my average cost as well. And I would buy back in at the new lower cost. Sniper says, congrats. I said, thank you, sir. Stay tuned. Let's see what happens. All right, I believe all these are older comments. All right. All right, so we are here now. All right. So Dewan Williams says, are you holding your shares the entire time or selling and then rebuying? Alex replied, hold. If you sell ETFs early, you get killed in taxes. I said, I'm mainly trying to hold them and build up a huge position. I will only sell if it's necessary or move that need be to do the margin. I said, Alex, are you speaking about selling under the year and holding them over a year for a different tax rate? So basically, he's saying, if that's what he's talking about, if you hold them, if you sell within a year, you get taxed at a different tax bracket, and if you sell over a year, which is considered long term, you get taxed at a reduced amount. All right, so all these are 8 days over. All right, so we're moving right along. All right, so next one are these here. Um, no, nah, no. He says, do you hold or buy a specific time? I said, I definitely hold my position, try not to sell unless I'm forced because I'm using margin. I don't have a certain time that I buy, but I try to buy when I have enough buying power or when the price dips below my cost average or on the EX date when the price dips. Dwayne says, thoughts on Hui? I said, Hui has paid out 2 dividends so far, 930 and the other one was at 650. In each instance, the price has recovered. I don't know if it'll continue doing that going forward, but so far it looks good. All right, that's it. Let's go to our posts. Let's see, July. Let's see, 4 days ago. So this is good. He said, what's Bitwise dividend? I said, I don't know much about Bitwise. One of the guys, I believe Midwestern Brother or Alan or Maurice mentioned it in the comments one day, and I looked it up. I got to look into them some more, but they did pay out massive dividends or that first payment. Maurice says, yeah. I'm not going to say that. I'm not going to say it, Maurice. I'm not going to say it. I'm watching Maurice dipping my toes. That's how I replied. Mike said, I got close to 100 shares each from these. Kind of upset the distribution was near $2 for this round when the first round was around 9, 7, and $6. But in time, it will reach those again anyway, fam. Stay the course. Hold on, my G. That's a good job, Mike. I'm keeping my eye on these. I too was surprised that they didn't pay out like they did the last time, but I will keep my eye on these. And if Robinhood maintenance ratio drops, I will try to get some if I have dry power. He said, for sure, my dude, keep grinding. Appreciate the love, man. I said, facts. All right. All right. This individual said, thank you. I said, thank you very much. Thank you for stopping by and watching the video and viewing the content. Stay tuned. Bart's says, was hoping for a bigger pay month for Misty. Guy said, same thing. Betts says, seem to be a little oversold due to YieldMax entering the market, causing major fear of missing out. I'll bounce back. We're due for a rebound. I said, in all honesty, I was expecting less than $1. So to get this amount, it was a very big surprise for me. Remember, the past month, Misty has been between 20 and 22, and it hasn't moved higher or lower. Misty payout is based on implied volatility, and that has been low the past month. I said I would say that he asked, what did he ask me? I'm replying to him. I said I would say that Palantir, Platy, and Hui are stealing some of the thunder because of their dividend payouts have been massive. All right. And then we got some comments here. This individual said, congratulations, G. Blessings. I said, thank you, sir. All right. Let's see if I forgot anything. Show post for paid out credit. I showed that. Oh, yes. All right. So one last thing, if you're still watching, one last thing. Last night I checked my email, and they have been emailing me since like June the 28th. And I finally checked my email last night, Saturday night, and it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that I've been monetized. I've gotten officially monetized for my YouTube videos. So I actually accepted that. Um, I think when I checked it, I had made $1.31 so far. So I think, if I'm not mistaken, you'll get your first check with YouTube when it reaches either $10 or $100, and I'll add it to my spreadsheet and let you all know what I'm getting over the course of a month with these videos. All right. So remember to keep the people in Texas in your prayers. Um, Keep them in your prayers, and they're going to need your prayers more than anything. Let's see. We got the big, beautiful bill passed in Washington this past week for the 4th of July as well. Let's see if that's going to be a positive catalyst that cause these stocks to run up. But hey, let's ride this way with these dividends, and let's get this money so we can create passive income, generational wealth, and whatever else you want to do with that. All right, this is YieldMax Mindset. You all have a blessed week. We get dividends paid out tomorrow, and we get dividends paid out on Friday. I'm out of here.